Hey everybody, welcome to the second edition of Opinions Are Stupid with me, Jesus Reyes, as your host, and my cousin, Jason Medina, and we're going to follow up. Say hi, Jason.
Hi, everybody.
We're going to follow up with what we did last week, which was more WandaVision, some more Godzilla talk.
And what the people want. It's what the people want.
It's what the people want. And we're going to also discuss... oh my God, I'm getting hot. Hey, Jason, check out my t-shirt. Speaking of Godzilla. What?
Nice.
There's this guy who does... This t-shirt's great. There's this guy who does t-shirt art, right? Yeah, and this is he has Godzilla and Gamera as baseball players. So
right.
It's fun. Anyway, I like fun stuff. But let's we'll do some of that. But let's first of all let's do the current events as we did last week. We'll do it again this week. And this week's current events are full of stuff from Texas, as well as some interesting stuff. Today was the capital. We reached let's start with coronavirus. We reached the 500,000 milestone this week, and that's a sobering number. If anybody were just to think about how many people there's, 500,000, 500,000 people have died of coronavirus because of bad management from the Trump administration. I'm sorry. There's no way that anyone can say again that this guy didn't know what was happening. He's a dunce. And he killed these people. If he might as well kill them if he put a gun to their heads. It's funny how anyone can consider this guy a useful human being. You know what I'm saying? Like let's start from the beginning. Right. How is this person even considered worth backing in any way, shape, or form? It blows my mind that people do this, and how. I was good at that. And he's an idiot. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it makes me really sad. Like I said, I know people who coronavirus.
The crazy thing about it is when you see all these, basically the breakdowns in the news or whatever. People say the same thing. They don't like his management style. They don't think he's handled things the right way, but they still support him. That's where the crazy thing, where it shows it's more than just politics. It's becoming more of a this is my team and I'm rooting for my team.
Exactly.
There's no other way around it.
Exactly. It's politics as a sport, and I think that's kind of been the case for a long time here in the United States. And it just becomes very sad when we're not able to say or do something about it. And by the way, Mario Cuomo was also embroiled in a scandal last week where we were talking about this a little bit, where he hid people who died because he felt that he was going to be attacked by Trump's politicized Justice Department. The unfortunate thing is, maybe you should have fucking said something about it. Maybe you could have spun it or whatever if you were so afraid, but you got to tell people what's going on, otherwise they're not going to fucking trust you. That's the same thing Trump did. Trump hid shit from people. Just
give back the Emmy. That's what I say. Give back the Emmy.
Let's start there, Mario.
Right. Let's start with the small stuff and then move all the way to the top. Get rid of the Emmy and then give us the real stats of what happened in the Emmys.
What the fuck? And you can't.
That was just water, folks.
Hey, it's folks. I'm sorry. As long as you can't see what this. Actually, this is why. See? I'm gonna open this up right now. Sparkling seltzer water. So, it's. I don't know if this is unprofessional, for me drinking stuff on the thing or whatever. You need to let me know, folks. Just drop a comment and say, stop fucking drinking stuff and showing us the inside of your nose, and I'll do better next time. We had some technical issues.
Question with the Cuomo thing before we get off it. Are you disappointed in any way because he was kind of like looked at as, the guy who was on top of things, and now we realize, there's more to the story? I mean, I always thought he was getting too much hype to begin with, but that's just me. But so many people were giving him all this credit. Do you think now that, it's a disappointment if you look at him that way kind of thing?
I'm not disappointed in Mario Cuomo. He's not my governor.
Right.
So I don't care. Honestly, to me I don't live in New York. So right. I live in the New York area. but I don't live in New York City, so he doesn't really represent me. I would say the following about Mario Cuomo and the mayor, the governor, and the mayor. Well, the mayor of New York too.
No.
They're both very political creatures,
Yes.
to the point where
And they hate each other, by the way. They
hate each other.
Right.
To the point where it hinders them, right? Like
Right.
it's
Right.
almost like it gets in the way of them doing shit, right? I just don't. The fact we talked about this before, and we've said this before about the police in New York State and New York, and the fact that Cuomo has to deal with the people up at the top of the state and the people, the people downstate, and he's not progressive enough for New York, I think, and I think that the people upstate that are more conservative, I don't care. The same. Jersey's the opposite. Jersey, everybody in the north of Jersey is more progressive than people in the middle and the south of Jersey, which tend to run more conservative because they're dumb. They're dummies. And I'm sorry if you hire Chris Christie twice, you hire Donald Trump, you vote for Donald Trump, and you vote for some of the shenanigans that are happening in the Jersey State House. I just have no patience for you. But the good thing
But you like
about it
Murphy.
is that
You like Murphy, though, you said.
I do like Murphy. You know why? Because Murphy wouldn't sign the marijuana bill until, they were taking care of the people that, the younger people who would have ended up in jail because the marijuana bill was still putting people in jail, and he was fighting that. So that's good. I actually do like Murphy. I will vote for Murphy again if I'm still living in Jersey when he runs. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah.
But Cuomo's done. I think Cuomo's done. I think he would need to. Negligence.
And let's be say rightly so. If you're hiding these numbers and you're tricking the public into thinking a certain way, it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
period. There's
absolutely.
no way around it. There's
Absolutely.
just no way around it.
That's your pub. You are in the public trust, and
Right.
Democrat, Republican, Independent doesn't matter. You are in the public trust, and you have to do what's best for the public, and that means whatever that is. Whatever if it's getting more information or passing information or letting people know or fighting for. The biggest thing is that they passed a law in New York where hospitals. And by the way, you put yourself on mute. Did you mean to do that?
Yeah, just in case, because there's a lot of background noise in my area, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, well
It's the witching hour in my house. I have to be careful what kids start screaming or yelling. Or
yell
whatever.
trap. I don't have those. I don't envy you. A little bit.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
A little bit. No, it's you're doing the cycle. You want it, kids.
Right.
I try to warn you.
You did. He sat me down. He broke it down to me.
This is what you
Pros and
want. I mean,
cons.
I'm not going to say no, but if this is what you want, that's fine. But so
Think about it.
So yeah, you're in the public trust, and you got to be able to do what you got to do. And there is a law in New York that basically, the nursing homes were protected, and you can't sue them, which is complete bullshit. If you're negligent, you need to get sued. You're negligent, it's like, oh, but these tart laws. Well, don't fuck up. And if you do, come clean. And if you do, figure out how you're gonna make it up. These
And if
businesses,
you didn't know something because it was early in the pandemic, admit you didn't know something. It's that simple. And then it was horrible. It was a bad situation. I think people would have understood and moved on. But just admit that, hey, we weren't sure what the data said. We weren't sure how to handle it, and this is what we did, and we screwed up. That's it.
right? And he does push a lot of it back on the federal government, and I think that he's right to do so. The CDC didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They were at one point they were saying mask, no mask. Put a mask on. Don't put a mask on. Put on 2 masks. Don't put on any mask at all. You're fine. You're not good. Whatever. But you're not. They weren't really. And again, I blame that. Again, politicizing the situation. It going back to Trump stopping this and whatever. So you could really spin it in any way he likes. But the unfortunate thing is, people died. Up to 13,000, maybe 15,000. People died.
It's horrible.
And that's
horrible.
bad. And that's not good. First of all, it's not good for the families of those people. Second of all, it's not good for anybody who supports this guy because, he's all this stuff is coming out about him being. Oh, the other thing is, did you hear about what he supposedly did to the guy who was in charge, the guy from Queens who was in charge of the. Right. He said that you'll never work in this town again and some shit, how he's going to destroy his political career. And Cuomo said that's not what happened. But that's what happened, right? That's what happened because Cuomo's a bully. And,
the mafia Don Corleone in him came out at that point, basically.
He's the ring. So that's the thing. That's the thing. I like Mario Cuomo. I liked his father, but Cuomo's a bully. And we have to decide what we're going to do now. And it's going to be up to the voters to decide. I mean, there's probably some legal action that's going to happen if the Democratic AG of the state is going after him.
Right.
That's
Right.
how government should work. It shouldn't be about, hey, patting each other's back and holding each other's hands and being fine if you're in the same party. No, if you do something wrong, you need to face the fucking music, no matter who you are, no matter where you are.
Right.
So
I agree.
that's. I think we spent enough time on this. We can move on to
That's
the next
tri-state area news. Tri-state area news. We've had.
Tri-State area news.
What about these hearings? What are you hearing with the Capitol hearings at this point? Do
The
you feel
Republicans
confident
shut the fuck up.
that this is a real thing, or this is just a sham?
Oh,
just to keep
the January 6th stuff.
right.
Well, Ted Cruz was looking at his phone while people were telling about their horrifying stories. Ted Cruz was scrolling through his phone, like looking at his Instagram or whatever. Blah. Meanwhile, people are like, and then they came after us with Blue Lives Matter sticks and beat us with it. And this one guy tried to kill me with a Blue Lives Matter stick. So it makes you think maybe blue lives don't matter if you're a white guy at the Capitol on January 6th. I like the fact that Merrick Garland, speaking of that, Merrick Garland was like, yeah, I'm going to prosecute all these motherfuckers.
Right.
That's my job.
Right.
And what do Republicans say to that? Nothing. Confirm Merrick Garland. Let's move on.
Crickets.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is that the Texas, Cronin and some other people were like, these were not Trump supporters. They were Antifa. And there's one guy's like, no, we were all Trump supporters. As we
They literally are saying in court. They're saying it in court. Like lawyers for these people are saying, yeah, we're doing it because Trump told us to go up to the Capitol. There's no way around it.
My president told me to do it. My president said that I should stop it because they were stealing the vote. Blah blah blah. Fuck you. Fuck you. Go to jail.
Once again, it doesn't matter if you like Trump or not. Like these are the facts. Like people are saying it in court under oath. Like we're not hiding anything. This is what they're saying.
Yeah, people died because Trump told people to do. And the thing is that the unfortunate thing is that there's a lot. I mean, we could spend all day on this. It's sad. It's bad. It's fucked up. We need to be Americans about this and put these people in jail and make sure that the people like John Cronin and Ted Cruz don't get kicked out of the Senate. And other people in the House that were supporting that need to go too. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, and it's not American, man. It's just wrong.
Right. We talked about it before. There needs to be two healthy parties in order for this to work. If there's only one party, the system doesn't work. It's just not designed to do that. We're supposed to be arguing in a constructive way so that we can get somewhere in the middle. There is supposed to be extreme left and extreme right. We're supposed to be somewhere in the middle, and we're just not at that
somewhere
point.
In the middle. I think that there's space for extremes, but if I look, I'm a lefty. I think that we're not doing enough progressively for people out there. The problem that happened in Texas is the reason. You don't just decide to we're going to just pull states' rights. We're going to pull everything off the grid and we're going to do an internal. Because people, services, at the end of the day, government is about two things. It's about protection and it's about services. And if you can't get government to to protect you or to give you services, then what's the fucking point of having a government? Right?
No, there's a lot of truth to that. Yep.
What's the point? If the state of Texas could not protect you when a freaking giant blizzard came through your state and fucking killed people, it couldn't protect you, because the power was the only way these people were gonna, and people are being charged $10,000.
I know.
Are you fucking kidding me?
But the guy, one of the heads of one of these organizations was like, "This is how it works. It's supposed to work that way."
Yeah, we're supposed to charge you $10,000,
right? Because you were using it more than your neighbor, so you were supposed to charge you more than your neighbor. Goes,
but
but nobody had power.
They didn't have power, so how the hell can? That's ridiculous. But that's the thing, and that's the unfortunate thing, and calling it and saying that windmills was the reason is even stupider. I want to say a couple things about Ted Cruz. And just because, we said some stuff already, but
what about his wife sending that text to the friends?
Don't be assholes
to join him in Mexico.
Well, he wanted his friend from college to come to Mexico with him. And he went with them, right? It was like, hey, going to Cancun last minute. Why don't you come along? And they went down to Cancun, and then he decided that maybe he had to come back and give out water. But the problem with Ted Cruz is he's mad at his neighbors for outing him.
Right.
He's telling them, don't
Right.
be assholes. Fuck you. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. You know what I'm saying? AG,
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want about Ocasio-Cortez, but Ocasio-Cortez came down to Texas to help in the food bank for $4 million. What was Ted Cruz doing? Passing out water? Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Right. No, hey, once you become in public office, whether you like it or not, your life is to serve people. It's that
Yep.
simple. And in these
Yep.
situations, you need to help out. Even if that's just going on Fox News and just saying, we need more of A, B, and C.
Right.
At least you were doing something. But you can't be doing that in Mexico.
Going on Fox News, he has a fucking giant bullhorn. Hey, I'm from Texas. I know that I was in Cancun. Here I am here asking, can you help us? Here's an 800 number. Please call and help us.
Right. I agree.
John, even the governor didn't even. Greg Abbott, who no one can find, no one knows where he is.
Right.
Right? And the thing is that it's not, Texas has balls, right? As a state. Because they keep talking about leaving the seating, and we're like, go ahead. You know, how many times did you hear?
Yeah,
we're going to secede. Later, brother. Great state of Texas. Make your own planet. Go and do what you got to do. But they don't want to do that. They just want the fear of that. I'm not afraid of you.
Right.
I
heard a lot of Texans crying for help the last couple.
Yeah, I heard a lot of Texans, and they didn't get.
I'm not knocking it because you do need the help, but then you can't cry succession, 2 weeks later.
It was actual help, not paper towels being thrown at people, right?
Right.
Which is the other thing. It's like Biden's doing this thing, and people are like, help Texas. He's helping Texas. Right. He didn't stop trying to help Texas.
He gave him money. He gave him money immediately.
He's not like Trump that goes to California. These fires could have been prevented by you raking up some of these leaves. This is ridiculous. All right, bye. Now get the fuck out of here.
Oh, man.
The name of this channel will be turned to Get the Fuck Out of Here, because I think I feel that a lot. All right. So the unfortunate thing is Ted Cruz is an asshole, and we should really think twice about hiring this. And DeSantis in Florida, another asshole. And by the way, don't get me wrong, we did spend some time on Mario Cuomo, so don't think that we're just picking on Republicans. If you fuck up, we're going to get you. All right? DeSantis saying that flags had to fucking fly a half-mast for Rush Limbaugh? Get out of here.
Rush. Look, I'll give Rush this much credit, right?
Uh-oh.
The guy was on radio for, 20, 30 years, for 3 to 5 hours a day, and he made a successful living out of it. And I say that because it's not easy to do that in that genre.
No.
That being said, he did a lot of things that hurt a lot of people. And we can't just, if you're on the right, you have to understand that. And if you're on the left, you have to understand that you can't, it goes both ways. We can't be attacking people on the left or the right in that sense. Once you take that side and you realize the money's a certain way, so I'm going to act a certain way because I'm going to get the money, which is what Rush Limbaugh did, we're screwed. Because then we're not really telling the truth about anything, and we're not giving people any information. We're just not. So just say that I'm doing this as a gimmick, because then I can respect you more, because then I say, okay, you're doing it for the money and you're doing it for yourself at that point. Except
Rush wasn't doing it as a gimmick. Rush
I know
most of that shit. And then he took drugs for his back and fucked his man.
Right.
I just hate hypocrisy, period. And if you ever see me being a hypocrite, fucking call me out on it. But I hate it. And I think that it's really kind of ridiculous for people to act as if Rush was this paragon when he wasn't. And the unfortunate thing is that anybody who made jokes about people dying of AIDS, he had a segment where he'd fucking talk about people dying of AIDS every couple of days.
Right.
Fuck that guy.
So you don't think it was that he saw the money was in a certain, to go on the extreme right, for example, so he jumped on the money train?
No,
I think he believed it. You think he believed it?
That was his this was his point of view. He wasn't a success at first.
Right, that's what I mean. But then he jumped on that right-wing world, and it became a success. That's what I mean. So you don't think that he saw that the money coming in and said, you know what, I may believe some of this, I don't believe all of it, but I'm going to jump on that train because
he believed all of it. He wasn't repentant throughout his life. He never said anything. It wasn't like he went out of his way to say, just a joke, folks, like Alex Jones, which
Alex Jones,
like that guy too. I'm expecting conspiracy stuff to come down for Roger Stone and Alex Jones, by the way, on the Capitol stuff.
You think so?
Oh
You think
yeah,
it's gonna be?
it's gonna be Oath Keepers, the whatever the Proud Boys, Alex Jones, and Roger Stone. Because two Oath Keepers that were part of Roger Stone's entourage went on to freaking attack the Capitol.
Right,
His
right,
security team, that piece of
right. I
shit.
did read that. See, but I do disagree with you. I think he jumped on the money. I think it was a money thing. I think it was a money play. I'm not saying he didn't agree with what he's saying. I just think when money's involved to that level, because he was making money off of this big
A
time.
lot. Yep.
When money gets to that level, you can't you have to make a decision at one point in your life. Either I'm going to be true to myself or I'm going to chase the money. And most people will chase the money. And I think he chose the money. I'm not saying he didn't agree with some of the things he was saying or he didn't follow. I'm just saying that he took it to that next level because of the money. Now I
I
could be
mean,
wrong,
I,
but
I, we can agree. We can agree to disagree or whatever. I don't look, man. Is it less evil?
no,
At the
I
end of
agree
the
with
day,
you.
is it
I
less
agree with you.
evil? No, it's
I
not.
agree.
Right? We both can agree that it's still fucking evil, right? So
Right.
six of one, half a dozen of the other. I hope he goes to hell. All right, so I don't, I'm not pulling punches here. I don't,
Right.
it's my opinion. My opinion might be considered stupid by some, awesome by others, but that's the whole point of the show. All right, moving on to somebody got divorced. Somebody was getting divorced.
Kanye, you talking about
Kanye
Kanye?
is getting divorced. Kanye and Kim are getting divorced.
Does this surprise you? No offense to
No,
that marriage,
I'm
but does it
surprised that
surprise
it took this long.
you? Yeah,
I just think she wanted kids. Honestly, some women just get married to have kids, and I think she
right.
wanted kids, and she wanted to make sure that her kids were taken care of, and that motherfucker has a lot of money. And
But
by
there
the
was a
way,
prenup. They had prenups before they went in,
yeah,
apparently.
you think that matters, man? Come on, Kim is worth a lot of money too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
Right.
that
She
she's
doesn't need
not.
his money. She doesn't need his money.
No, but the unfortunate thing is that his kids need him, and he won't take his medication. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That guy needs help.
Yeah.
Uh, and I love him. I love his music. I think his music is fantastic. Crazy as a fucking bedbug, that guy. And when you say crazy and you say, "Oh, that you're being unfair because that's a mental illness," blah blah blah. The dude knows that he's obviously has a mental illness. You know
But
what I'm saying?
he says he doesn't want to take the drugs because it hampers his creativity. That's what he
Great.
says.
You know what? Don't spend 3 months without taking the drugs. Do your album and say crazy shit, and then get back on your drugs so you can spend the rest of your life in some kind of order.
Right.
The reason why you take these drugs is so your body, your mind, your brain can excrete stuff like serotonin and all the other shit that your brain isn't making because you have a fucking medical condition. It's like, hey, I don't have a leg, but I don't want to wear a plastic leg because it makes me look funny. Wear the fucking plastic leg, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The
Yeah, yeah, I
fuck?
hear you.
I mean, I'm boiling it down. Maybe I'm being a little unfair, but we know that you have a brain problem, dude. If you're supporting Trump and running for office and writing it, saying you're bigger than Jesus and stuff like that, it's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like really.
But see, this is where I jump back into the Rush Limbaugh world. At the same time, this guy knows where the money is, and he knows by saying crazy stuff is gonna make him money. This
Yeah.
this is what
Okay.
I'm saying. He
Yeah.
made that decision a while back and said, "I'm gonna be crazy Kanye when I gotta be crazy Kanye because it's gonna make me money." And that's the way I look at it when it comes to this.
I
And,
guess.
and when I say money, it's not like a couple $1,000. It's got
No,
we're talking
he
about
makes
hundreds of millions of dollars.
he
Right?
makes fucking bank, that guy, and
Right.
that's fine. But you know what? Again, for his music and the stuff he does, I can't fault him. He spent a whole summer making beats,
Right.
and that's hard work. That's not a joke.
No, you have to have
No,
a talent.
really, guys.
You have to have talent. You have to.
Cause I make tracks with like my little toys and stuff, and coming up with a track that makes sense and whatever is a little bit of hard work. It takes time and effort. The music that plays in the beginning of the show I made because I didn't want to pay for
You see that?
stuff.
Talented.
Yeah.
The man is
Yeah.
talented.
Talent alone from God. So that's with that Kanye and Kim, and then something else happened this week that was interesting. What happened?
Like in the news or
Oh,
WandaVision.
well, yeah. I don't, other than Carino saying that she's going to make a movie. That's good.
Yes.
It's all right. They're replacing her on the show, which I think is pretty fucking funny.
So they're not killing her off or anything. They're
No,
actually
they're
going
not
to keep
killing
her
the character.
character
I was
going.
just replacing the actress, and like people are saying are so angry about it. I'm like, read your Did you read your contract? Like I'm thinking that Disney just said that. Like, did you read your contract? Oh no, you didn't. Oh, well, you should have read it. You're fired. Take your shit, get
Right.
out. You know, it's oh, the cancel culture thing. You heard about CPAC today, right?
I heard Trump was going to talk at CPAC.
Yeah, he's gonna talk it. Pence was invited, but he's not going because he doesn't want to die.
Right.
One.
Right.
Two, Trump is talking at CPAC, but they're calling the CPAC, this year's CPAC, uncanceled, right? But they canceled the guy that was coming on the show.
I didn't hear this. When did this happen today? I didn't hear this.
This dude's like, the Jews are doing this, and the Jews, and they're like, you can't come. Please stay home.
Right.
And they're like, what happened? He's like, I'm being censored. I'm like, yeah, because you're nuts. I can only imagine what this is the goofiest fucking thing. I find it offensive. I find it offensive in general when people do this thing where they're like, well, the Jews run the media. I'm like, the Jews don't run the media. Cut it out. You know why the Jews don't run the media? Because not every white guy in Hollywood is a Jew. One. Two, not every person that's involved in the media is Jewish. It's like, it's like this general ridiculousness that happens. I feel really bad for people who think stuff like that. It's like saying that every Mexican or every Latino is a criminal. Because if I was, I'd be doing much better than this. You know what I'm saying? But it's like these like every white person is racist. It's just ridiculous. It's like, come on. And this plan, these conspiracies, Oh, there is that March 6th conspiracy. Speaking of conspiracies, have you heard about that one?
I think it's coming very quickly, a couple weeks away.
Yeah, and they're going to come to the Capitol again. I think that this time they should be shot. Like if you cross the line, blah, oh, what happened? Oh, I don't know. Don't be stupid. But they're going to treat it like a thing actually this time. There'll probably be troops on the grounds of the Capitol, and that's what should happen. Get over there with your signs, wave them all you want. You can't cross this line, we'll shoot you or tear gas you or whatever. Just like Trump did to the people who were just banging pots and pans outside of the White House.
Well, I was gonna say the gate, because they put up the like those gates and stuff around the Capitol. Are they still up? Did they take them down officially?
They're still up.
They're still up, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So there is a buffer zone because that's like a mile before you get.
I don't live there. The unfortunate thing though is should there have been? You know what I mean? Like when the troops were passed out this summer to protect the Lincoln Memorial and some of the other stuff in Washington D.C. because people were really fucking mad and they hate Trump and he lost the election fair and square, folks. I'm sorry, but when people confirm elections, when states confirm elections, that means that he lost. And everyone all the swing states confirmed the elections, and if you want to look at stuff, you could look it up and you could see what's going on. But we could talk about this again. We could talk about this all day. But yeah, the March 6th thing is back in the day, presidents were inaugurated on March 6th. And then I don't know exactly which president it was, but they moved it up to January because they didn't want to have that lang time for lame duckness. They want to get the new president in as quickly as possible. And because the QAnonites and the Trumpers and all those people consider that a conspiracy, they believe that the Trump will actually be, inaugurated actually on the 6th. Right. Which means I'm wondering what the hell they're drinking, because get me some of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Holy crap.
They keep pushing the goalposts back. Like it keeps becoming, January 6th and inauguration day, and now
it's
now
March
this day.
6th, now it's all right.
It's part of the we got to keep this going somehow, so we got to keep adding things to it to make people believe, basically.
Lindsey Graham was kissing his ass today. He said yesterday on Fox News, he's like, Trump is gonna run the party and blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, he's not, because there's tons of GOPers who are like gonna leave the party and they're gonna start their own shit, and that's fine. The best thing that can happen is 40% or 50% of GOPers that love Trump are gonna split and go on with him to whatever his new party is, or run the GOP or whatever. He realized that he realized that name recognition bases it. But those people the people who don't like him are gonna come and become independent, and he needs them. Like he needs that 40% of the GOP to win seats,
right?
And he's not gonna win those seats. You know what I'm saying? And that's
at least not in general elections. At least not in general elections. You can win in those small counties that way.
Well,
but you can't win the big elections.
Yeah, you could win. You could win pretty. You could win elections with. Here's the thing. We know his brand now, and either people are gonna love him or hate him. And I think people are. And why do you think the GOP in certain states is running amok to try and stop people from voting? They're making it hard for people to vote in places like Georgia and Texas and lots of other gerrymandered states. They want to hold on to control, so they're going to stop the minorities from voting. Poor and minorities, are going to be it's going to be harder for them to vote. And the Supreme Court doesn't do anything about it. They're going to keep tearing down the Voting Rights Act. So there's this other stuff that's happening in the government. We could talk about it later, but instead, let's move on
to mature news. To mature news.
Enough with the news. Oh, wait, one more thing. Daft Punk broke up yesterday. I'm sad.
Did you see how the video they brought it to a halt? Did you see where he exploded at the end?
No, I didn't see the video.
There's actually a video. I can send it to you later. There's actually a video where they both kind of meet like in the desert somewhere, and they kind of like start walking away from each other, and then one just explodes like an Endgame at the end, and you just see dust floating into the sky.
That's funny.
leaving the other one in the sun, like in the twilight of a setting sun in the desert. It's great. I'll show it to you later.
I'll check it out. I mean, there's this guy called Sasquatch. He's a guy who dresses in a Sasquatch outfit and plays the saxophone. Right. He's pretty good. But what's great is that he did One More Time as a video, which I thought was pretty cool. He's like, he sets it up and he plays it, everything. He's like wearing a fucking Sasquatch. It's on my Facebook.
Good times.
Yeah. So you can check it out. Which is sad. I love them. I think they're great. Yeah. They're funky and they're French, so you know what that means. They eat baguettes. All right, WandaVision. So you finally saw all of them,
right? I'm caught up, and I immediately text you.
Yes, you did,
because there were a couple of questions that I had. Because
I have no answers, but let's bring them on. Bring them on.
So I've had an issue with how Hollywood has messed with Fantastic Four over the years. Every movie they make is horrible. Everything. I mean, you messed up Silver Surfer. How do you mess up Silver Surfer? This is like one of the strongest, coolest guys you could probably use in some capacity, and they just destroyed.
Because Galactus, they messed up Galactus because someone in a Fox is really bad. Here's the thing, Fox is really good at realizing that's a great idea, but then when you bring it into their boardroom where the people that run the place talk, they fuck it up always.
Right.
Always. Like you have to have a really strong idea for them not to fuck it up. Aliens, for example. Aliens, great movie. Alien, great movie. Alien 3, they kind of fucked it up.
When she was in jail? Wasn't that a dream? Yeah. Wasn't that all a dream at one point?
It was that script went through the fucking ringer, man. Oh my God. But there's an actual version of the script that was written by what's his name? Neuromancer guy, William Gibson, that's been turned into a comic. You could read his version of the script. It's supposed to be really, really nice. But they completely fucked it up. They knew that the girl that played Newt, this was like 5 years later, the girl that played Newt had aged out of the part. So they were like, well, we can't have Newt in this movie anymore. I'm like, just say that her fucking sleep thing broke or something.
Right.
And it's
sci-fi.
It's a lie. It's a lie. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
Like, how you gonna do that? It's like she kept growing. She just slept differently or something. Who knows? She turned over. I don't know. Whatever.
So you can replace Bow Wow in Fast and the Furious, but you can't replace Newt? Come on, I understand. Now you're getting me back to Fast and the Furious.
Bow Wow.
I'm a Bow Wow fan.
I know. I can see that.
But they've always messed up Fantastic Four. So
Yes.
when I saw, not to be a spoiler for anybody that haven't seen it, when they brought Agatha in, I immediately text you because I was like, wasn't she part of the Fantastic Four world at one point? So does that mean Fantastic Four is coming into the Disney world at this point?
Well, um, Agatha Harkness is part of Fantastic Four. Agatha Harkness is also it's a witch. She's a witch.
Right.
Um, she's part of the Salem Six, and she has a son who's evil. And I mean, I think they're spinning her as a villain. Agatha was in the Fantastic Four originally was set up as something other than a villain, kind of like chaotic neutral type of thing. She was
Right.
involved with. She was the babysitter of Franklin Richards, the Fantastic Four's child, Sue and Reed's child. Um, and unfortunately, I was under the impression that they. I don't see why not. I don't know how they're going to do it, or why they're going to do it, or if they're going to do it, but I don't see why not. I think it's important. I think Fantastic Four needs to be part of the MCU,
Right.
or Marvel, or the Marvel Universe movies, or whatever they call it. You can't you really need, just like Spider-Man was brought in. You got to bring the Richards in as well.
Right.
There's a lot of rumors flying around. Emily Blunt and her husband were supposed to be Sue and Reed, but somebody said that somebody else was signed to play a character, and no one knows what's going on. But to go back to WandaVision, yes, she was a character in the Fantastic Four. So, but you have more questions, and there was a storyline about how she was involved with when Wanda had her kids.
Right. Right. So the other question was the sword agent. You told me her story, which I wasn't sure about. Where
Monica Rambeau.
where she might be like a new what's this girl's name? The the Avenger, one of the Avengers type thing. This girl who used to blow up spaceships. That was her biggest power. She was
Captain
blowing up
Marvel.
spaceships.
Captain Marvel. In the
yes.
Marvel in the Marvel comic book universe, Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, was given the power by being caught in an explosion of a experimental Kree engine. Captain Marvel, who was still alive, the man was still alive, showed up and was like, "You have been imbued with the power cosmic," and she was like, "I'm imbued with the power cosmic," and then she became Miss Marvel, wearing a bathing suit and a sash. Rogue stole her power. Rogue from the X-Men stole her power and became super powerful. And then she went on like a vision, and she went on a vision quest because she had no powers for years and years and years. And finally, Rogue gave it back to her. And this is after Captain Marvel died. The original Captain Marvel died, and Miss Marvel became Captain Marvel. In the interim, Monica Rambeau was a character that was brought in, and she became the new Miss Marvel. Right, she had like light power. She can turn into light. Some other shit. Who fucking knows? And then she went from there. She became something else, and then she became something else. But I think when Miss Marvel became Miss Marvel, when Miss Marvel became Captain Marvel, she became Photon, whatever. Photon.
Gotcha.
She turned into a couch, and then that was her power. No, and then
that was an old show. Remember Photon? That used to be an old wannabe laser tag back in the '80s. Remember that Photon?
Right.
I don't know why that popped in my head, but it did.
And then Marvel went one step further and created a new Miss Marvel, and that is a girl with stretchy powers. And it's supposed to be a really great comic. I don't know if you read it. And she's a Pakistani American who lives at first Muslim superhero, from what I understand, from the Marvel universe, who lives in Jersey City. So she's right up the block.
Really?
I say hi to her all the time. Anyway. So that's actually going to be a show, from what I understand, on Disney Plus as well. So we're going to get a lot of interesting flavor.
Which one? The one you just talked about?
Miss Marvel, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Interesting.
Yes.
So they're trying. So this is going to be a springboard, you think, for what you think for the Miss Marvel and Fantastic Four if they go in that direction. You think?
I don't see why not. I think there's a lot of things. Well, supposedly Doctor Strange is going to be the new episode. We know that it was Agatha all along.
Right.
If you haven't heard the Trap remix, check it out.
Right.
But it's the kind of thing where that they're moving this toward. I mean, what else is going to happen? We got Falcon and Winter Soldier in like 3 weeks, right?
Right.
And that's I can't wait for that. That's like, out of all the Marvel movies, the Captain America movies were my favorite. Well, the last two Captain America movies were my favorite. Because the first one was kind of like,
Right, right. I agree.
But hopefully we'll get Fantastic Four. I mean, I would love that. I would love to see more Fantastic Four. I would love to see more magic in the Marvel universe. The fact that we have someone named Doctor Strange who can do all kinds of shit um, says that there is an opening for stories. And in the animated What If series, you're going to see him take on the Marvel zombies, from what I understand.
So it's all coming together. These people have a plan. They're breaking it down.
And of course, and supposedly in the third Ant-Man movie, Kang the Conqueror is going to be on it.
Pops it.
Remember,
Interesting.
People who don't know who Kang is a time traveling guy. He has time traveling powers, and he's a despot from the future who tries to take us over. And supposedly somehow he's going to meet up with Ant-Man, which I'm thinking, what? It's like that makes all kinds of sense.
Well, are they going to go to a dimension thing? Is that what they're going to do? Like,
Well, they've just basically said that Ant-Man is a time traveler now, right? And all the Marvel Universe guys are time travelers.
Right.
If they can use the suits, to go through time with whatever Tony Stark's, math. Tony Stark did math, and now I better go through time.
Just carry the one. Just carry the one.
Just carry the one. I'm a baby.
Right.
Do something. He's a baby. That was great. Those are the best scenes of that movie.
Right.
But the fact that happens and the fact that we have this, it just opens up a lot of shit. I mean, one of my friends, Bert, one of the guys I do other stuff with, was talking about how he loves the Micronauts and he wishes they were back. And the Micronauts are a property that was owned by Hasbro, but it was owned by Kenner originally. And they're basically they were run of toys, and Marvel was doing Toy Stories, where they would just because it was Hasbro wanted to push the toys, and they did a comic called Micronauts, and Micronauts was really, really great, and it built this whole universe of characters, of some of which Marvel still owns, and some pieces are still there, which is great. I would love to see Ant-Man get involved in that thing. Maybe we could find Bug and Marionette, and maybe some other people, and that'd be awesome. But we won't know because we'll see what happens. So you have other questions about WandaVision, or?
No. I think those are the main ones, because I was trying to understand where they're going with this. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna get rid of the old Avengers, because they're not gonna make any more movies with them, and how they're gonna bring the new Avengers in. And I figured Fantastic Four would be a good kind of like starting point with them if they can do this somehow.
Well, half of them are dead. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Well, Steve isn't. Steve's just old.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I'm old now. I'm going to run for president. Fucking Steve looks like Joe Biden. I swear to God. I was like, this guy looks like Joe Biden. But what I think is funny is Steve got to live his life, right? And I kind of feel like it's I would like to see the story of how he puts the stones back. And I think that's what they're doing with Steve. I think they're bringing him back for one more movie where he tells the story of the stones. And by the way, just because, and I think this is very funny, just because Steve lived his life in the past and lived his life doesn't mean he can't jump back into the Marvel Universe as Captain America for a while and then just go back to that timeline.
Right.
Right?
Just blew people's mind. He just blew people's mind with that one.
Right? I mean, why not? I don't see why not. He's like, out of all the characters in the Marvel movies, he's my favorite. I mean, maybe they'll introduce maybe when Fantastic Four hits, maybe the Thing is my favorite. But they got to play him Jew. They got to play him like a Jew, otherwise it's not worth it.
By the way, I don't know if you know that Costco on 36th Street in Sunset Park?
Yes, I hate that place.
So right next to they opened up like Industry City, and then next to that they opened up like a Baby Gone or whatever those things is. It's like a little kind of a kind of mini mall, and right in the middle they put a statue of Captain America.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's supposed to be similar to what they're doing in California with Batman.
Right.
I got to go there and take a picture of it after I get my second shot. Shot 2. I put a video up on Facebook about what my favorite my best day would be, like a day with just me in the city and stuff. And
Right.
Since I'm not dating anybody. It would be me going to a museum.
Hey, so
I
Jesus in the city.
haven't been to the Whitney yet, and
Right.
I've been at the Whitney, but not to the Whitney. So I'd go to the Whitney. I'd spend some hours there checking shit out. I walk up on the on that thing with the park with the High Line.
Right.
I'd
Right.
go to the meatball place on 23rd Street. Have you ever been to that meatball spot?
Good stuff. Good stuff all the time. Yep. Good stuff.
They put the little mozzarella balls.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I
Hits the spot.
then since I'm on 23rd Street anyway, I'd go to Donut Plant, get myself a freaking couple donuts, and then go downtown, take some pictures, hang out, check out. If it's a weekend day, go through West, the 14th Street the Union Square area, and
Right.
maybe buy some moonshine. Head down to Forbidden Planet and Strand, maybe pick up a book or two, maybe a pop.
You're not going to Cats and any of this and any of this.
That's another trip.
walks?
That's another trip. And then I'll buy some wine at Whole Foods. I'll buy some wine at
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's wine shop. Maybe get a slice of pizza from Joe's. Very food heavy, I know, but it's been a while. And then I'd go home
That's
and
it.
drink that bottle of wine. Blah, 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 blah. But it'd be nice, It'd be nice to freaking get out finally. Of course, I'd wear a mask. I'm not like saying I'm gonna take my mask off, but of course I wear a mask. But once that second shot is fermented, man, I'm out of the fucking house.
That's it.
Done.
You are officially free in your world.
Done. Well, I mean, I if I were to get sick, I could say I can't wait to see my mom.
Right. Right.
It's been about 2 months since I saw her last. We'd like to see her.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. Maybe I'll see you too. Oh my god,
Trashing the place. You're getting
I know.
emotional. You can't contain it.
it's this thing. It's I constantly measure shit. It's my measuring. I'm constantly measuring stuff because I have small spaces. I gotta put stuff in.
Speaking of measuring, how big is Shin Godzilla? This guy is huge.
Yay, Shin Godzilla! Yay! So what did you think?
So I remember last time you were saying how they got this old government political thing. I actually found that very interesting. I found that interesting because it gave you the Japanese perspective of kind of like where they are now compared to like, for the last 40, 50 years since the first Godzilla, and how they perceive themselves, which I found very interesting. How they kind of like, they think they're bogged down in all this red tape. No one wants to make a decision.
Right.
Like we
don't
always
kill
have
any
to wait
civilians.
Right.
Don't kill any civilians.
We have to wait for the Americans. Like it's always kind of like
civilians.
Right.
It's like don't kill civilians. Meanwhile, Godzilla's stepping on people. So what did you think of? So Shin Godzilla was made in 2000. It was released in 2016. It won the Japanese Academy Award for Best Picture.
Oh, nice! I didn't even know that. And it was only out for like a couple of days or a week or something. You told me.
What?
It was only out for a short, limited release. Like it wasn't out.
Yeah,
for like
it was out for a limited release in America, but I think it was a month.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. But it's an interesting movie. If you like disaster movies, better yet, let me say this is really great. It's a disaster movie with a giant radioactive monster. He's not a lizard in this movie. There's nothing lizardly about him. He's some kind of crazy amphibian. But what's great about this is there's a mystery around it, but it's really, at the end of it all, it's a kind of like a techno thriller with bureaucracy.
Yes. You're right.
Because they're constantly trying to find a way to figure it out what's going on. And it's like you see it every step. And then one of the things that I saw with somebody recently, like, why they're having a meeting, why are they moving to another room? It's like because it's all part of the power structure dynamic. They have to do this because it's a ritual.
It's how they've done it.
Japan has a ritualized society, and the bureaucracy is also ritualized. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you could see it in what they do. By the guy who made that movie was the guy behind Evangelion.
After?
Yes, Evangelion, the anime. Have you seen that?
Okay.
At all?
No, I have not. Sounds like I have to.
It has a lot of shit in it. You don't have to trust me. It's a lot of stuff. But yeah, man. So it's like people running out. Government officials running back and forth in rooms. That one thing where they were like, we're out of when the guy who was running the special task force to figure things out basically said to people at one point, I'm not giving anything away, guys. It's like you could see it. It's in the credits, basically. I mean, it's in the trailer. He basically says, you guys are the number one. You're not. No one's gonna stop you from doing stuff. Let's figure it out. And it's like, oh, stress. Risk assessment from as a PM, as a project manager.
Right.
That's what I do as my trade. As a project manager, when you risk assess and do stuff like that, you have to ask a lot of questions. You have to ask everyone a lot of questions. You always got to figure out what the hell's going on so you can have a better understanding of what's happening.
Right.
So them doing that really kind of puts stuff on its head. What do you think of his transformations?
So, okay, so let's go to the last one, right? All right, or let's go to the first one when he's walking around and he's kind of like crawling kind of thing through the city.
Yeah, he's crawling. He's like a slug.
Right.
He's bleeding from his gills.
My kid saw that and ran to the next room. So she was walking by and she happened to see his wobbly eyes and she just took off. So I guess
the googly eyes fuck you up, right?
It had a weird effect on I guess the effect they wanted worked basically.
Well, at first you're like, oh, they're googly eyes, but then you realize no, they're fish eyes.
Right.
They're big ass fish eyes.
Right. Now I want to go straight to the end.
Okay.
Because they show his tail. They show his tail.
Yeah, would you
so were those like alien people coming out of his tail? Was that what that was?
No, that's one of the bodies. That's what he turns. That's one of the things he turns in. Those are his babies.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I wasn't sure if he was like all of a sudden they were gonna be like zombie Godzillas popping out, or
yeah,
in
basically,
this case, your babies.
Folks.
Right.
Spoilers. But seriously, it doesn't really ruin anything because the meat's in the movie,
right? And it came out like 4 years ago, guys. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, what are we? Time is money.
If, by the way, you haven't seen it 4 years ago, that's why I didn't tell you anything. But
right.
if you really want an interesting time for $1 on Amazon Prime, you could see Shin Godzilla, and it's really in some ways it's really kind of just disgusting, but in other ways it's really interesting. Like it's really kind of like a very different take on Godzilla, and when Godzilla you spend a lot of time with close-ups on Godzilla, right? So you see that in most of the Godzilla movies that we've seen, it's like building Godzilla. You know what I mean? In this movie, they're pulling back to show Godzilla all the way in the background destroying the city, and you're like, that's a lot of city that's he's gonna step on. You know what I mean? Like you could see it from the point of view of if this was a storm, if this was some other disaster. But it's very, very interesting, and how they stop him was completely. It's a very Godzilla way to stop him. You know what I mean?
Right. It's very true. I liked how he showed his fire for the first time. Kind of like the plume of smoke. He kind of was like, it was like kind of like stuck in him kind of thing. Like, like somebody who's like a chain smoker and can't get it out. And he finally does. And then this whole fire thing comes out, which is kind of interesting.
Awful. It was absolutely awful.
It hurt my chest seeing him coming out of it.
Watching him was terrible.
He's gagging at one point with it.
Yeah, it's really, it's awful. It's like, oh, stop. Give him a lozenge.
I would have liked it to be more of a snake kind of thing where his skin kind of sheds. It kind of just kind of transforms kind of thing.
Well, if you notice, every time he transformed, he went back on the water.
Right. That is true. That is true. He stops and goes back.
He goes back in the water. So that was interesting. If you get a chance, see Shin Godzilla. There's another movie that I'm a big, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a big Gamera fan. There was a Gamera movie that was supposed to come out in 2016 called just Gamera. They back in the 90s, they redid all the Gamera movies a la the Godzilla stuff, except they didn't make a whole lot of them. They made 3 of them. And they had Godzilla, Gamera, Guardian of the Universe. And if you haven't seen that movie, excellent kaiju movie. Excellent.
Why Gamera? Why is Gamera one of your favorites?
He's a turtle that flies with fire coming out of him. What do you mean?
That is a stupid question. I apologize.
You remember, and Gamera movies are really a lot more violent than Godzilla movies. There's a scene where he fights a guy, and the guy's the shark guy tries to cuts his arm off.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah,
and Gaios bites his fingers, one of his toes off, and he has to like fly off. He's trying to fly away, and Gaios is biting his toe. Those are the ones from the 60s. But
they never remade the twins. Damn it, it just popped in my head. The twins, the brothers that were fighting each other.
Oh, the Gargantuous.
War of the Gargantua. They never remade that War of Gargantua. That was a pretty cool idea, I guess.
Why would they do that?
Because they're brothers fighting each other. That's why.
War of the Gargantua was great because the red one was bad and the blue one was good.
Right.
But somebody told me one of my friend Steve's bunch favorite Godzilla movies is a movie called it's the Frankenstein movie. You ever seen that?
The Frankenstein movie.
Oh, you've never seen that one?
Well, he's like, Frankenstein?
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm gonna
What
give
is
you the
this
name.
called? I don't think I ever saw that one.
Yeah, it's what's it called? Toho.
And who does he fight in this movie?
He fights Baragon. Toho Frankenstein.
Interesting.
Movie. I'm surprised that you never saw it. It used to be on TV all the time. We used to watch it.
I mean, maybe I have. It's just one of those, haven't seen it in a long time. I mean, I'm sure I did when I was a kid, but I just don't remember enough.
It was on every channel when we were kids. It was Channel 9 though. It was this
Channel 9. That's the Caucus channel.
Yeah, Toho Frankenstein. It's called Frankenstein Conquers the World. And what happens is the Nazis take Frankenstein's heart and bring it to Japan. And then a whole Frankenstein grows from the heart.
Where did the Nazis come into this? Where did they come in?
And
only in a Godzilla movie.
And then he's a Frankenstein, but he's like a wild Frankenstein,
right.
And he starts to grow. And then Baragon shows up and he fights Baragon. And that's it.
Hey, it's a win-win for everybody.
I mean, So the Gamera, there's a Gamera movie called Gamera. The last Gamera movie that was made. There was actually another one that was made, but I don't think it was ever released in the United States. I think there's something happened. They ran out of money or whatever. But there's a Gamera movie called. Let me see. I think it's called Gamera. Gamera Guardian of the Universe was the big one. Yeah, that's the other one.
Not Gamera Guardians of the Galaxy.
No. Gamera Guardian of the Universe was a Gamera that was they went back and they decided to go back to the idea of Gamera being friend to all children. And,
right, that's exactly what I remember, right.
Yeah, it's called Gamera the Brave. And in Gamera the Brave, Gamera looks like he's a real dopey looking Gamera. Like this Gamera is really dopey looking. He's let me see if I can get him up here.
It's on your shirt.
No, that's classic Gamera. Classic Gamera. New Gudon. Ooh. Why? What's going on? Oh, wait. Oh, ooh. All right.
So what's another?
Anyway,
what's another one? What's another one I should see for next time? Now that we're in the.
If you've never seen the Gamera stuff from the 90s, you should check them out. They're really good. Yeah. They're really good. Okay. It's Gamera Guardian Universe, Gamera versus. Let me see. Gamera Guardian Universe. Gamera Attack of Legion is the second one, and the third one is Revenge of Idris.
Interesting.
Idris Elba. He's in that.
Yeah, I was about to say he's done it all.
It's Iris. I'm sorry, Iris. And what happens is in Gamera Guardian of the Universe, we find out that Gamera was actually a construct. He was made by the Atlanteans. That's right. He was made by the Atlanteans
right.
as a biological weapon to fight against the Gaios. And the Gaios is it's Gaios.
Right.
It's a bat that likes to eat people.
Right.
In Gamera the Brave, Gamera is found by a kid, and he grows up from a little
tadpole type thing.
Like a little turtle, like a regular turtle. Right. He grows up to be a giant turtle, but he's a goofy looking giant turtle, and he fights. In the Gamera movies, monsters eat people like all the time. Like it's Tuesday, I'm gonna have some people, and right. he fights a monster who eats people.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a trailer. You can find the trailer on YouTube. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I will.
Like on this channel, YouTube. Go find the trailer. Get out of here. Get out of here. But if you want to talk Gamera, we could talk about Gamera.
Nice.
Talk about Destroy All Planets. What's that? Gamera? That's Varys. What? Was it? Oh yeah. Gamera fight in Destroy All Planets, or Gamera versus Varys. He fights that space squid. The Gamera monsters were very interesting. They were more
Right.
inventive than the Godzilla, the Toho things, because yeah, I know folks. They're like, what
They
the
could.
fuck's going on this channel?
That's the beauty of it. We just jump topics. There's nothing that constrains us.
We talk stuff. So yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Is there anything else we got to say? Anything else?
No, I think we broke it down.
I think we broke it down. We broke it down. Like how you like.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's it for this week, guys. I mean, I guess. I mean, we talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to overwhelm the people. We got to give them time to marinate about what we said. Stew it.
Think about what we said. Think about it. All right. Well, until next time. Thank you guys for joining us. That's my cousin Jason, who's an interesting cat. And it's me, Jesus, and Reyes, and we'll put this up, and follow us, please, subscribe and stuff. And
Have fun with it.
Please don't send me money, but send me money. Until next time, folks.